Here to deliver what is my first annual report to full council. You might say that this is more of a half-term report from me because I only became leader in late January. But I don't see it that way at all, because there has been clear continuity in our purpose, our values and our actions, regardless of changes to the political leadership team. You may remember that in my opening address as leader to members here, I outlined my determination that our cooperative work and the improvement journey we have started would go on. And you will see tonight that it has. There will, of course, be changes as circumstances, opportunities and budgets alter. But we are holding fast to the values and priorities that we know residents, businesses and partners see as vital to Oldham. In this year's annual report, I'm going to talk about those key priorities, what we have achieved in the last year and what we will do next. Look beyond this chamber and we know there is great upheaval in British politics. Clearly, that will be framing much of what we do and can do in the future as a council and as a borough. Since our last full council meeting, much has happened. We had the EU referendum and the vote for Brexit on June the 23rd. We've also had a change of Prime Minister and Cabinet, and it is claimed changes in the government's approach and on key policies, which I will return to later. Clearly, the Brexit vote, whatever you think about it, is going to have a big impact on everything and everybody for years to come. The implications, as we've already seen, are going to touch every part of our work as a council. Our budgets, our community relations, our ability to invest, the strength of our local economy and the confidence of our business community and our partners. So it's important that I'm crystal clear tonight about my commitment to Oldham Council continuing to step up and play a leadership role. We know that nobody from outside is going to come in and fix our issues for us. We will continue under my leadership and with a strong and focused cabinet to play that vital civic leadership role as a cooperative council. What the first 5 years of our cooperative journey have already taught us is one very simple lesson. Oldham only succeeds when we all pull together in the same direction. Oldham only succeeds when we all make our contributions towards realising shared aspirations and goals. Put simply, we can only build a better borough together. So what are our priorities then? Well, firstly, at the heart of all our work is the drive to create a strong economy and a place to be proud of. That's about continuing to attract investment, continuing to regenerate our town and district centres, and building an economy that works for everyone. Very soon now, I will be able to announce the opening date for the Old Town Hall. It's a project that will make a clear statement to the region and the UK about where we are heading as a place. What we are creating here is a clear statement of our intent, our vision for a thriving and confident Oldham town centre. No longer the days of the Wild West culture of cheap booze offers around Yorkshire Street to blight our reputation. We are building the heart of a family-friendly town centre, one with a great leisure offer where people from all walks of life can mix, enjoy coffee, watch a film, relax in a new public space and take a stroll through a booming independent quarter. And we've had good success this year in attracting tenants to the Old Town Hall. The Odeon Cinema, Costa Coffee, Gourmet Burger Kitchen, Nando's and Cafe Molinos of the Loungers Group are exactly the calibre of business we set out to attract. Talks are ongoing with other operators and I hope to have more announcements to make very soon to take us to full tenancy. It's clear, talking to those operators, that they've been inspired by our vision for the Old Town Hall and see Oldham as a previously untapped opportunity. We already knew that residents believed in the Old Town Hall scheme. There's been overwhelming public backing for it, but it's also very reassuring to see that is shared by commercial operators in the current challenging financial environment. We're also making good on other developments. Funding is now in place for our Arts and Heritage Centre in the old library building on Union Street. It's important future generations and visitors can go somewhere to be inspired and learn more about our borough's past. This new centre and yet another restored Grade 2 listed building will tell that story from the Industrial Revolution and our time as the cotton spinning capital of the world, right up to the present day. And works will start on site early next year. Down at Mumps, you may also have noticed work progressing on the construction of a replacement park and ride facility on the land between Beaver Street and Walshaw Street. This will provide the same number of park and ride spaces, and once it's open, work can start on the Prince's Gate scheme, including the flagship and much awaited Marks and Spencer's food and clothing store as the anchor tenant. At the same time, much is happening in the independent quarter. We've approved over 70 grant applications, money to invest alongside applicants' own money to improve the appearance of properties or enable them to offer new job opportunities. The area has attracted more than 30 new businesses, over 150 new jobs have been created, 3 new independent restaurants have opened. It is in the independent quarter that we're providing the new digital enterprise hub at the former Wahoo Bar, offering a fantastic creative space where new enterprises can be encouraged and help each other to grow across the digital technology and creative sectors with our anchor tenant Wira. In July, there was an event at the college to introduce Wira to stakeholders across Greater Manchester. Over 150 people attended, and we've had very positive feedback. You'll also have noticed the major improvement works to highways and pedestrian areas in the town centre, including the Campus Oldham part of town, along the King Street corridor, linking Oldham College, the new Oldham Leisure Centre, and Oldham Sixth Form College. All of this will improve the experience for motorcyclists, cyclists, shoppers, visitors and local firms. We've completed a major project to build the new 3-form entry primary school at the former Grange School site. We've cleared the former Oldham Leisure Centre site, the Hobson Street car park site, and they will be used for new uses. And we've seen work start on the fantastic new Maggie's Cancer Care Centre at the Royal Oldham Hospital. The progress on these schemes in the past year is helping to move Oldham to the next level. We will finally be able to look upon and market it as a visitor destination in its own right. And there will be more announcements about the town centre to come in the months ahead after the Old Town Hall is open. Another priority for us, and something that I certainly alluded to in my first speech as leader, is what I call social regeneration. Schemes that change people's everyday lives for the better and go beyond the bricks and mortar. In that respect, campaigns like Warm Homes Oldham, that's lifted 1,300 people out of fuel poverty, or our Early Help scheme, which supports individuals and families in new and better ways, are continuing to make a daily difference for local people. But a key part of this agenda is also our determination to deliver on fair growth, sometimes referred to as inclusive growth. And what I mean by that is the importance of not leaving anybody behind. In my new portfolio at Greater Manchester level of fairness, equality and cohesion, I am determined to build our profile as a strong and respected voice on this. One that shifts the focus of the debate and action towards more practical and specific steps that will include more and more of our people in the benefits of prosperity. It's good that Manchester's economy is prospering. We welcome that. But any assumption that the benefits simply trickle down across the region, not borne out by the evidence. The south of Greater Manchester has gained 60,000 jobs since 2008. Yet the number of jobs in the north has essentially remained static. Our average weekly gross wage in Oldham is £444, the lowest in Greater Manchester, and that's got to change. If the GM project is to succeed, it needs more government investment in areas like transport, homes and work and skills. Not just devolution of the responsibility, but with a smaller budget. And it also cannot be right that 620,000 people in the region continue to live in poverty. For GM to succeed, we need prosperity to be spread wider through targeted intervention and investment in areas like Oldham, Rochdale, Tameside, even parts of Manchester itself and beyond. The benefits of this growth must be shared by all of our residents and all of our businesses. And linked to this is another major priority, education. We've made a good start this year, since the Oldham Education and Skills Commission published its report in January on implementing its recommendations to deliver a high-quality education system for all. Our GCSE and A-level results improved this year, bucking the national trends. Our GCSE's A-star to C results went up 5% and closed the gap on the national average. We're still not at the national average, but we've closed the gap. In A-levels, 99% of our pupils achieved the A-star to E pass rate, and that's up 3%. Our Ofsted inspections are also improving fast, especially in schools where we recognise that intervention was needed, and that intervention has happened. This time last year, just 39% of our secondaries were rated good or outstanding. That already now stands at around 74%. Great progress to our target that all pupils should be taught in schools of that calibre by 2020. Our Key Stage 2 results, however, were not so good. Even though 90% of our primaries are good or outstanding, the results mirrored and in fact were below the national drop. And we're looking into that, we're examining that in full to learn the lessons. Although it's true that this was a new national curriculum and marking scheme, we cannot be complacent about it because our results were frankly disappointing. Beyond education, it's a major priority for us to continue backing our businesses and workers. Get Oldham Working has proved such a success that we've just launched Phase 2. The team have already created 3,750 employment opportunities in less than 3 years since it was formed. But the work can't stop there. We've just relocated them to Metropolitan House, near to the Jobs Centre, to make them even more accessible, and they now operate on a drop-in basis for job seekers on weekdays. By 2020, the team has now been tasked with helping 6,000 more residents and filling 5,000 more work-related opportunities. In the last few weeks, we've also published 2 key documents, the Strategic Investment Framework and our new Work and Skills Strategy. The Strategic Investment Framework sets out how we will seek to develop sites of strategic importance across Oldham, like Broadway Green and Hollingwood Junction. Through our new Work and Skills Strategy, we are trying to achieve major change in terms of raising aspiration. So we will deliver high-quality careers advice, improving school and industry links, and promote opportunities to local and regional growth sectors. In addition to that, we have to do all that we can to tackle the low-paid, low-skill industries and zero-hours contracts employers that make employment so insecure and demoralising for too many of our residents. Next month, the Enterprise and Skills team will launch a vital new initiative for us, the Career Advancement Service. This will help an initial 400 employed local residents to understand what additional support they might need to get an in-work promotion and improve their incomes. That won't just ultimately help them and their families, it also creates new opportunities for others. So an example of that we've already done was Warehouse to Wheels, and we are going to do another phase of Warehouse to Wheels because that was so successful. Other major priorities for us include securing even better transport links, lobbying at a regional level to give all our residents easier access to jobs and training opportunities. We are determined to build the homes that people need, and several new home schemes have finished in the past year. Work has started on the 15 million development of 135 new homes in Limers Village. There are new homes at High Barn Street, Royton, Greenhurst Crescent, Fitton Hill, the former St Augustine School and the Lancaster Club site. We want an Oldham housing offer to be attractive, affordable, energy efficient and provide a wide range of choice. And we have still got several sites at various stages of moving towards development, including the Old Count Hill School site. A clear priority as part of that is the quality of our neighbourhoods and enforcement work. Through our private sector landlord scheme, we've had good early successes this year in rooting out and prosecuting those whose practices have blighted our communities in St Mary's, Hathershaw, Waterhead, Hollingwood, Primrose Bank and parts of Coldhurst, Alexandra and Oldham Edge. Decent private landlords in these areas are supportive because they, like us, know the rented sector in Oldham needs to improve. But our clear message to those who think the law doesn't apply to them is that we're coming after you. and we will prosecute you for failing to meet the required home standard, which can have such a terrible impact on the health and welfare of tenants and on the wider community. Similarly, we will not shirk from going after those who do not do their bit where they live and operate. Tenants and businesses need to act responsibly in a way that shows respect for their neighbours. We make no apologies for cracking down hard on fly tippers, littering, dog fouling and other selfish behaviour, and we encourage Oldham residents to continue reporting it to us. In the last year, 867 fixed penalty notices and 122 prosecutions were given to fly tippers and littering offenders. Against all that, our funding pressures are still worsening, and who knows what the change of government and the impact of Brexit will mean for that. We must cut another 37 million from our budgets by 2019, and that will mean impacts that people notice. I also want to be clear, however, that the solution doesn't always mean cuts. It can also mean different ways of working. So next month, the new weekly bin collection cycle will begin. Now, like most people, I don't like change to my routine, and I understand the concerns that some people have. But our officers are working extremely hard with residents to help them to manage the change, offering advice, offering extra recycling bins or extra recycling capacity. And I would urge all ward members to help us with this transition. We're asking people to do their bit, so we need to be advocates and fully engaged in that process. Because we simply have to make this change. The disposal of rubbish from grey bins currently costs £16 million per year. And even without the pressure of budget cuts, this amount is rising every year. If we were to do nothing and leave bin collections as they are, it will cost a further £3 million over the next 2 years. And that is £3 million we just don't have. By reducing the amount of non-recyclable waste disposed of, we can avoid those additional costs. And that money can then be used on our priority work to provide care for all who need it and making Oldham a caring place to live. A final overarching priority for us is in supporting healthy living, healthy lifestyles. I've got my Fitbit too. We're helping residents and staff to be fit for Oldham, mentally and physically, and there are many aspects to the offer. We have the healthiest school meals in the North West, fantastic parks like Alexandra Park and Dunwood Park, and we're continuing to invest in others, like the new £100,000 Mugger pitch at Colchester Green Park. We operate a wide range of help and activities with partners, like our popular park runs and great estate of new leisure centres. And through growing hubs, fruit routes, allotments and schemes across the borough like those at Lees, Alexandra Park, and community projects like Firwood and District Residents Association, the Fatima Women's Association, we're providing better access to healthy food and fitness from juniors upwards to help them make habits that will last in the next generation. The rationale is that this is win-win. If we get it right, it's not just beneficial for the families who take part, it will ultimately save the public sector, and especially the health sector, money. So now I turn to my challenge to Theresa May and government. I was struck by her opening speech as Prime Minister when she set out a bold agenda. She talked about, and I quote, fighting the burning injustice that if you're born poor, you will die on average 9 years earlier than others. If you're a white working class boy, you're less likely than anybody else in Britain to go to university. If you are at a state school, you're less likely to reach the top professions than if you're educated privately. If you're a woman, you will earn less than a man. If you suffer from mental health problems, there's not enough help at hand. If you're young, you'll find it harder than ever before to own your own home. Now, much of that sounds uncannily like the priorities I've just been setting out for Oldham, don't you think? So my simple challenge to Theresa May is, come to Oldham. If you genuinely believe it's not just about identifying and perpetuating, but actually tackling deprivation, take a tour around the borough with me and let's talk solutions. Come and see the amazing things that people are already doing here and change this government's perception and understanding radically from the last, because it's clear that David Cameron's administration knew the cost of everything and the value of nothing. So if Theresa May is serious about those words, she should come to see what we do and work in partnership with us. A start would be to give us much fairer funding and stop producing surveys that say we're the most deprived, because we're certainly not in terms of our aspiration and our spirit as a place and a people. So back to Oldham. When you look at the priorities I've outlined, a stronger economy, fair growth, high quality education, backing business and workers, the transport and homes we need, safe communities with good services, care for all who need it, and supporting healthier lifestyles, and then look back at what we've already achieved in the past year, it really makes you think. All of us in this chamber came into local government to make a difference to the people we serve. I do not doubt that. And despite the cuts, despite the uncertainties and societal challenges, this record shows that we really can still do that, and so far with very little outside help. We know better than ever before what the challenges are. We have the plans, the people, the assets, and now the confidence to do it. In Oldham, we will not leave people behind. If Oldham people do their bit and contribute to this vision and priorities, then they will benefit from the journey. And as local leaders, it is our responsibility, it is our duty to go out into our communities and carry out on this work with residents from tonight. It is our duty to continue giving people the leadership, help and inspiration that they need, and to listen to them. As I said earlier, Oldham only succeeds when we all pull together in the same direction. Oldham only succeeds when we all make our own contributions towards realising shared aspirations and goals. Put simply, we can only build a better borough together. That is not going to change. Thank you.